it's pretty scary, I feel. You know these players, they're strong, you've played them before. It's not something that you want to be, taking for granted. And we'll be getting underway here. These two teams, Loughborough Lions and Lincoln A-side, they are formidable opponents, and I'm sure this best of 7 is going to be an absolute slugfest.
Loughborough in the blue and Lincoln in the orange. As you say, a best of 7. And it is more of an endurance race in a best of 7. A best of 5 can almost feel like it's over before it started. If you lose those first 2 games, you're already looking at match point and it needing to reverse sweep. But best of 7 just has that little bit more breathing room where you can actually slowly turn the tide in a series and find a way back. As we're going to find an only goal. No, we're not. Dave G, Spider-Man save there off the wall. I thought he was completely caught out of position as Stamina took the shot, but somehow manages to scramble back, and an early opportunity not going to go in for Lincoln.
And like you said, best of 7s, you have the opportunity for storylines to build, and Dave G wants to start the storyline of being that hero. You got a nice save on the back foot and then pushing this ball forward, keeping momentum up and pressure on the opponent. Again, it's got possession, not much ball here. It's going to be taken away from him, and instead Bowles wants to follow up again. A nice touch there. Should be a teammate there. No, Misty wants to follow up, but there's nothing immediately. Again, Dave G caught out. This is going to be downfield and off the backboard for the orange team. Lincoln, what can they do with this? Well, forcing it downfield right back to the waiting Nando and Loughborough Lions. And a bit of ping pong in the central midfield. No one really able to get a grasp on this. It's going to be tapped down. Stamina has the ball, looks for the flick. No, goes under, forces it through, but that's going to be another great save by Dave. And yet again, no goal going in the first minute and a half here.
Yeah, Dave, the iron defender for Lincoln in the early stages. Been good pressure from either side, though. It's all been about control of the midfield, especially typical Game 1 vibes, just kind of knocking it about and seeing what the other team are made of. Stamina looks to get a touch, but it's a bit of a wayward one, and it's not really going to do any favours for his team. As Crookie now in possession in the corner, gets to the top of Misty, might be able to drop it down for Stamina as well, and it's a gorgeous play from Loughborough. Worked beautifully out of the corner by Crookie.
They were taken down by Lincoln in the last series. This is exactly how they want to start now, putting this goal in right down the middle as well. Only a couple minutes in and leading by 1. It is only 1, but they've got the shot advantage as well. Putting that through gives them that confidence. You hope that in a best of 7, of course, it's just getting those game wins, those even just those little wins on the field, goal by goal, at any stage is great. And this is, well, best foot forward here. It's again going to be just forced into the Lincoln side of the field. Dave G can look to force it out, but not immediately. Instead, a miss by Nando as well, and maybe a couple of Loughborough Lion players caught out of position. Dave G off to the side. Bowles can't get there immediately, but there's still time, there's still pressure, has boost ball and space. That won't be forced down. Instead, Stamina gets the touch, and Dave G, again, seems to be everywhere, making all the right touches for this Lincoln side, but still nothing for them offensively.
Yeah, Dave G, we've talked about him on defense already, always looks to be in the right position to make a good play on the ball and completely halt the attack from Lincoln, from Loughborough, in its tracks. Although that one is a bit of a loose one, and Stamina has managed to get some pace behind it in the defense that time. Caught sleeping a little bit. It was just wide open after that mistouch from Dave. Both players at the back getting boost, and no one really able to converge on the ball in time to make the save. So Loughborough now doubling their lead, and Lincoln, despite their solid defense, have let 2 through.
And the rotations might be criticised there for Lincoln, but it seemed instead that actually just being able to make sure you've got a teammate midfield and they're ready to push up from Loughborough was more the reason that went through. And again, Crookie wants to push this one through. Will be shut down easily enough by Bowles. Nando gets a nice save, has to try and avoid a waiting defender yet again. It's cut off at the midfield. Nando doesn't get the touch once more, but now Crookie just putting this into the box, hoping that someone misses. Not going to be the case when it's Dave G on the end. He seems formidable. This game is going up. Crookie maybe with the touch. No, it's kept out by Bowles. Only just, and that would have been a dangerous goal to concede. Going down by 3 at any point in the game is deadly, and not quite going to happen there. Misty turns this off to the side again. Crookie forcing this through once more. Now Stamina's up. Doesn't get the 3rd goal. A hat-trick isn't there just yet for him. Instead, forced out again. Nando won't be able to push this past the defender either. It bounced off a sideball. There's turmoil in this orange half of the field. It's only just forced out, but still the pressure looks to continue.
Yeah, and that's a lovely little transition there as Stamina able to take a shot in the midfield, which didn't really look to be on it. Looked like the counter-attack was starting to materialise for Lincoln, but Loughborough just played that little half rotation and the pressure just keeps coming. And Stamina does get a 3rd goal here. Once again, worked out of the corner by Crookie. Bowles there, a loose one. Nando onto the backboard, and it was Misty in there. Just a rabbit in the headlights. Had to wait for Stamina to take that shot, and that shot was an absolute bullet to the left-hand side of the net.
Of course, and that is his 8th shot. There's been 9 for the team, and he's got all but 1 with the hat-trick, and all 3 have been assisted as well, so it's looking like as a team, very, very dominant. They're working together, and they want to put this one as a team to bed. That might just be the force. Stamina wants to force it in. No, Nando, can he slot that? It's not going to be Crookie. Maybe no. Somehow it's kept out on the goal line, and, well, there's just under a minute left. It seems like there's still chance for some sort of, well, I mean, I think you could get the 3 goals in this period of time. It's difficult when you've got a team of this caliber defending again. Loughborough Lions, all they need is just to force this ball out, and even just with this one clear that we're going to get from Crookie, I feel like this game might just be over. And now actually we're seeing, what is that, 11, 12 shots even from the Loughborough Lions as opposed to the 2 of Lincoln. So it's been clear who's been the better team in this first game, but it's best of 7, and we have still seen glimpses of some promising stuff from Lincoln.
Yeah, we have, but they really just haven't been able to even get into the final third for Loughborough. It's always just a shot that is punted downfield, and then they have to try and chase it for possession. But Loughborough so good at working the ball out of their defensive half, I should say, and transitioning onto offense. Lincoln really have their work cut out, it seems, if they want to try and get some momentum anytime soon. And the question that I have to ask is what was different last week? I mean, this is these 2 teams played each other literally a week ago, and Lincoln were victorious 3-1. I don't think Loughborough were playing with a sub. I think they were full strength, so I'm not entirely sure what's gone on. But I mean, as I said, playoffs Loughborough is just a different breed.
It seems so, yeah. You've read the cards and you had the prediction. I mean, it's only game 1, it's the best of 7. There's no way of really knowing what is going to happen in the remaining, hopefully 6. I'd say, that there's scope for more, and we have seen, promising Lincoln. They were working together a few shots in the opening minutes or so of that, but after that first goal went in, it just seemed like it all crumbled, and Loughborough, they pulled ahead. They worked as a team, and all 3 goals eventually went in off the car of stamina, but Crookie and Nando both getting at least an assist. And again, I think there was 1 shot from either of them. So it seems, they've got that main player to filter through. And Lincoln, whether it's cutting out the passes or going for demo, some sort of disruption, they know who the main player is for Loughborough. If they can mitigate that, then I think they're still in a very solid position.
Yeah, and I think another thing for Lincoln, to focus on in particular is possession. Just maintaining possession and going from one end of the pitch to the other, in control of the ball. As I say that, the tactic of just hit and hope works wonders for them, as Bowles absolutely sends one downfield and Loughborough completely caught out by it. So I guess don't pay attention to me and keep going your own way, Lincoln.
Well, it was sent downfield, but it seemed like a good read. You look at where the defenders were, they're all streaking back, pushed a bit too far up, and yeah, you can capitalize on that all you want if you are Lincoln. They'll take that early goal. It's even earlier than what we saw off Loughborough, and well, get that one in, the first 15 seconds or so, you'll feel slightly more confident, and hopefully this doesn't go in. You still give Lincoln a chance to hope. Another good boom upfield, but it's going to be controlled, and now this might be where they get the idea of booming it up just a bit too much. They want to be controlling possession, but not if they're going to slam it downfield every time. A double commit means that there is still a chance. The infield pass going to be cut out by Bowles, and good awareness now. Dave G, what can he do? Was a monster in the opening period of the last game, but nothing put through immediately. Stamina forcing this one downfield, but again cut out by Misty, and we're not seeing Loughborough get anything too dangerous in the first minute of this game.
No, not quite. Dave G looks like he's pushing up a little bit more as well, starting to be more of an offensive powerhouse than a defensive powerhouse, but that's a little bit of a mistake, and Stamina gifted a free shot, but thankfully Misty read that one perfectly, and Crookie tries he might to find the demo, is not going to get anything for his troubles. There's no shot from Lincoln. It is boomed back downfield. Is Stamina going to make the read? Yes, he does. But the double touch just wide of the mark, hitting the post. But a real wake-up call for Lincoln that, yes, they might have that goal now, but they cannot afford to fall asleep on defense.
Oh, they nearly conceded with that one downfield. I believe it was Misty that got the save, but only because there was no boost in the tank of the Loughborough attacker that the goal wasn't converted. That one might be, and it will. Crookie and Nando, they're going to combine, making someone other than Stamina have to put one in, and it's a great one as well. Nando can force it over. I don't think he doesn't quite get a touch at the end, but Crookie's still there, gets the read, and it was put in the mix, or it was put in a position where a Lincoln player wasn't really able to get a read, or at least not one enough that it could be blocked out. And yeah, slammed home with a great 50 momentum, all in Crookie's favor there. That was a phenomenal shot and a great way to tie the game up.
Yeah, exactly. Crookie just winning the race to that ball for the 50-50, and sometimes that's all you need if it's that close to the goal, as that is another close one to the goal. Bowles onto the crossbar, but the angle just eluded him slightly. And now Lincoln, they have thrown away that lead, and they're going to need to find it back here. I'm sure that they would not want to be going 2 games down, as a lovely little double touch off the sidewall from Bowles, but going to trouble the defense. Didn't quite generate the power that he was hoping, but Lincoln still on offense here. Nando caught out of position as well, and it is going to invite Bowles in, and Lincoln get their lead back.
Misty works it round, but it seems to be more than anything just the unfortunate clearance from that Loughborough defender, meaning it shoots right into Misty. Then the waiting Bowles gets the brace, and again pulling ahead just that bit more. The shots are even now for these teams, 5 apiece, and we're halfway through, so there's no real clear leader in this game. It seems like they're a lot more balanced, and maybe those first game jitters or that first game buff, depending on which team you're looking at, is gone. But we're seeing much more from Lincoln. They're at least able to string some passes together, and like you said, again, that possession game that they've been looking a bit more towards, and making sure that they don't boom anything downfield, at least not too eagerly. And again, they want to keep this in the blue half. That won't be the case. It's put right back in though as soon as it's taken out. Stammer again off to the side, just wants to clear to the corner, give his team some time to breathe, and it's forced downfield, and that will be in Loughborough. Well, Nando gets his first goal of the series in an unorthodox fashion, but again, I'm sure they'll take this tie game.
Yeah, I do want to dissect this play a little bit more though, because what started all of that was a huge clear from the Lincoln defense. And yes, while it did ask a question of the defense, it immediately gave away possession, and Stamina then just walked the ball upfield. Awkward 50-50, but now it's 3-2 Loughborough. So Lincoln, they really need to be a bit more smart about what they're doing here in terms of just giving the ball away for free. I feel like if they took their time, controlled it a bit more, looked for a teammate, even if it means passing the ball laterally, I think that they'd have more success going forward offensively, rather than just hit the ball upfield, use all your boost to chase it, and then just be left with nothing when it comes to taking the final shot.
Yeah, they're a strong team, but you look at the opponents, they're equally as strong. These two teams seeded 4th and 5th, there was nothing in it, and even the series they played, although it was Loughborough that came ahead, no, Lincoln that came off with it, that was the win. Yeah, and you know, despite that, you have to assume that Loughborough is still going to be very, very strong. There's practically nothing between them, and they want to be making sure that they're not sticking to these basic ideas of just slam it downfield and hope the opponents miss. You have to outplay them, you have to play very, very smart Rocket League, and well, they're looking to do just that. A few mistakes that have been capitalized on, and a few that haven't quite, so there's room to work with on both offense and defense. Crookie wants to give the opponent something to worry about on defense, and that's not going to be the case if Misty forces it past Stamina instead. Nando misses the boost, actually. This will put him in a bit of a stranded position. It's kept off to the side, and again, Stamina wants a teammate. Will it be their Crookie? That's going to be off to the side and nowhere near the goal.
Yeah, nowhere near the goal, but all 3 Lincoln players reacted to it. Oh, that's a lovely save from Dave once again in the way. Yeah, going back to that previous play, all 3 Lincoln players jumped for it. It doesn't maybe seem like there's quite enough communication on defense from Lincoln. Just one too many double commits and not really knowing, you know, where you are in the rotation perhaps. And I think that is hurting them on defense, especially with the amount of pressure that Loughborough have been putting up.
Yeah, they've only made a couple of mistakes, and either it's a matter of not knowing where the rotations are and that being the reason, or they've realized that they've made some mistakes previously, they've gotten their own head, and now they're diving for everything, or they're making, you know, just unable to hit the ball even when it's directly in front of them with no challenge, and that has caused issues. There's only a few seconds left. This could be, and the double commit will confirm it. Nando gets the safety medal as well, and a couple seconds on the clock. This game about to be dead. It's only a goal lead for Loughborough. It has to be forced down. It's not. It bounces. It's a chance. Misty. It's going to not be in. It's just kept out. Somehow, there's still a chance. Bowles wants to put it central. Is there anyone there? It's Dave G. Stamina off to the corner. It's going to drop again. Misty. Crookie out. This ball bouncing around. Finally, it cascades off everyone and hits the floor. Loughborough, well, they've eked that game out, but it was a bit closer than they would have wanted to at the end. And Lincoln, that's unfortunate. That's an annoying way to lose there.
My word, Lincoln there. If they'd have been able to do that all game, then we could be looking at a completely different story. Loughborough there just panic stations, absolute chaos on defense, and Lincoln just kept coming and coming and coming at them. And Loughborough just did not know how to deal with it. So Lincoln now have to look at that and go, okay, this is what rattles them. This is what really unsettles them and makes them afraid of us. We've got to try and hold that up for 5 minutes. If they can do that, then they can definitely be competitive in the series. But Loughborough now have a 2-game cushion to contend with. So Lincoln are going to have their work cut out. They're really going to have to fight for it and play at their best. But I think that they are definitely capable of it.
Oh, for sure. I mean, they were so close. They were up in that game 2-1, and unfortunate, the first mistake and then just second goal. It was so many small, very small margins that actually resulted in the outcome of it. Unfortunately, it went in the way of Loughborough, and that they were deserving. They managed to hold off the defense at the end there, and like you said earlier as well, it's a best of 7, so it's not like you lose the first 2 games and you're on series point. But if they lose this next one, they most definitely are, and it's an even harder one to fight back from. A reverse sweep in a best of 7 is something you rarely see, and you don't want to be on the facing end of. So Lincoln A, they're really going to need to do something here if they want to give themselves any chance of progressing in the upper bracket of this playoff.
Yeah, I feel this really will be a pivotal game. If Loughborough win it, then I don't really see a way back for Lincoln, because they'd be facing a reverse sweep against a very informed Loughborough team. But Lincoln here, if they take a game, then there's no reason why they can't take a couple or a few more. How has this not gone in? Okay.
That is something to look back in replay review time, but for now you have to just screw your heads on and try and score again. Lincoln, they had what seemed like 7 chances in one, and none of them converted. Instead, Loughborough, they hold strong. There was collision on the goal line, there were double commits, but there was not a goal, and that could be no Bows. Easy enough read, and again, wants to follow it up. Has some boost, gets it around the first player, but nothing in the tank to follow it up with again. And now a nice demo tries to open up space for Dave G, who hasn't been as dominant in this game. At least maybe there's a chance there. No, it's going to ricochet just off the upper stanchion, and unfortunately again Lincoln just can't convert.
No, it does seem that they are allergic to scoring, despite getting right up to the goal line and getting very personal with Loughborough's defense. So far, nothing going all the way through yet, and Loughborough have looked a little bit more shaky on defense. There was a few double commits, and also Lincoln bringing out a couple of demos as well. So really trying to open up the defense of Loughborough. Speaking of opening up defenses, that was a wide open hole there in the Lincoln defense, but thankfully for Lincoln, nobody there. But that is a colossal bump. Not sure who it was, but a wide open net. Stamina says thank you very much and slots it perfectly to the top corner.
That is a phenomenal attempt, like you say, and just to put that through as well, it wasn't the hardest shot in the world, but if you missed, there would have been questions, and well, it's put through, and the lead once more it lies with Loughborough Lions. Somehow, no matter what they're faced with, they managed to get the lead, and they've got several minutes in this game left to face, but they're in a good enough position. There's at least one demo, maybe a bump, not quite. Instead, Stamina bounces it off, and all that should be through. It will be Crookie gets another one for the goal tally here, and I'm not sure what else Lincoln can do. They've tried everything apart from scoring, or at least they've given it their best shot, but it seems like Loughborough, they can force them out no matter what.
Yeah, that was a fatal error from Misty there on the backboard, just not able to make the touch, and was the last person back as well. I think there was a demo on the back line as well, so that was what ensured that the third person wasn't able to come through and make the save. So Loughborough with a 2-goal lead. Is it going to be 3? Nando sends it onto the backboard. Misty with another miss. Stamina with the shot, but no real venom behind it. Bows with a pretty easy save, but Loughborough still challenging. Bows has got 100 boost, but he can't really do a whole lot with it at the moment. Now finds himself in possession. Crookie gets that 50-50, just holds it up, and then Crookie back again on defense, picks up that 100 boost as well, and he's got it over the top of Bows, transitioning onto offense now. Not able to make the touch off the ceiling. So Lincoln really trying to push forwards, but being stopped in their tracks at every opportunity by Loughborough.
And there's another one. It's going to be Stamina once more, racking up goals in this series, and somehow, no matter what, you see, I believe that was a bit of team collision in the air there, but Crookie gets the read, knows exactly where our teammate's going to be, and it's nestled in the top right. No one reaching that, no matter how much boost they had, no matter how much awareness they had, and as well as the 3 goals for Loughborough, it's an assist each, so it's a very well-rounded team right now. They're working as a unit, and it's a unit that seems to be almost unbreakable. They're unfazed by anything Lincoln are throwing at them. And once more, I don't think we've seen this ball in the Loughborough half in a solid minute or two, it seems, at the very least. There were periods at the start, and, well, it's going to be in once more. But you only assume, yeah, that Nando can keep this out and probably once more force it through. No, Dave G wants to give his chance a bit of working room and instead clears it out a bit too much. Crookie misses. There's still a chance on the transition. Stamina takes a shot. Stamina gets the goal. Stamina gets the hat-trick and the 4-0 lead for Loughborough. This game and this lead seem insurmountable for Lincoln once more.
Yeah, I can't help but agree, and I have to say the person making the difference right now is Stamina. He has always been the star striker for Loughborough ever since he joined this first team, and he is proving why, living up to that name here with another hat-trick. I believe he had a hat-trick in game 1 as well, so standout performance for me from Stamina. But now Lincoln, I feel like this is it, you know, a best of 7 reverse sweep. I think I've only seen it once or twice in a best of 7 in these kind of stakes. I can't see it happening, and I'm just wondering what has gone wrong for Lincoln, given that they beat this Loughborough side last week to make it here. They're now going to immediately. I don't want to preempt, but if things stay as they are going to be immediately dropping down to the lower bracket, and I just feel like it's going to be difficult for them. I mean, they might survive quite well in the lower bracket because, you know, 5th seeded team against 4th seeded team. They're right in the middle of the pack. It's not where they want to be.
Oh, for sure. And I think looking at not only, you know, the series score, but the individual score lines and the actual skill on the matches, looking at the eye test, that's going to be a 5th as well, Stamina with the 4th. Well, it's not just a skill issue, right? These teams, they can go toe-to-toe. Lincoln can win games even. They haven't done that yet. There's still chance in the 4th and maybe further on, but they're struggling to string almost anything together. And like you say, Stamina has that MVP and a half performance every single game without fail pretty much. But it just seems like Lincoln, whatever their game plan is, I'm not sure because we haven't seen it come out. And well, Misty can show us that there's still some fight. Unfortunately, I'm looking at the clock. I don't think it's going to quite be this game, but maybe one for the road, maybe one to give them just that fighting chance, that mental hope. And okay, in chat, Bowser's called last goal wins. I don't quite think Lincoln understand the premise, but they're looking for any reason they can to stay relevant in this series. There's a chance, not with 10 seconds on the clock, but the fact that they can still score, and they can still score some pretty nice solo goals. But Loughborough, they don't want to give them that chance, and they haven't up until this point.
Well, Loughborough are now on match point, and this looks to be their most dominant game so far. 5-1 and a standout performance from Stamina, scoring 4 of those 5 as well. Why is everyone saying GG's? It's best of 7, guys. Guys, don't leave. Don't leave.
Oh, wait. Is that even... Okay, they haven't left. They're saying
it's best of 7.
Well, then.
They thought they'd lost. Guys.
All right, no, they're calling for a comeback. They're ready for this. They're saying...
All right, regain.
This seems like one of those occasions where, as a player, you should maybe be a bit more aware. You know, but, well... I don't know, maybe that's some copium. Again, they went down a couple goals, they're like, series is over. But now, when it's really up against the ropes and they have to win 4 in a row instead of 3 for the reverse sweep they thought was going to happen, they can fight back. It would be a miracle and then some, but you have to believe they can win at least a game. It's been difficult. It's been really difficult to imagine that they will. They've had opportunities. That game 2, I think, was their best chance, and unfortunately, just a few miscommunications between the teammates led to, Loughborough pulling it back. But, well, a 4-0 does still seem to be a bit of a disservice for any team that's made it to this point, let alone the 4th and 5th seeded teams going neck and neck with each other. But hasn't been the case, and now Loughborough, they want the sweep here. They want to close this out in a tidy fashion. Lincoln, they want a chance to play another game. Yeah,
I think the thing is, nobody was ready for how well Loughborough have been playing this season, especially this series, sorry. Especially Lincoln, and Loughborough have got another one on the board. I feel like we have started a slow but sure march towards a conclusion in this series now, as Loughborough getting a very early goal within the first 15 seconds. But what a turnaround from Loughborough. I mean, you have to give them credit. They lost to this team last week, 3-1. And now here they are, potentially taking them down in a sweep in a best of 7. So Loughborough, whatever issues they had last week, whatever their kryptonite was against Lincoln, it seems they've managed to fix them. And I mean, that's an understatement. They've looked absolutely dominant.
And coming into actually qualifying for the top 8, Lincoln were the ones that had to battle from well outside. I don't think they were even in the top 10 going into last week, but Loughborough, they were already there. They were consistent, and they've shown again to be consistent. They don't really have very low peaks, and they've worked with those highest of highs that they've found. That might be a miss, and it will be. Misty again wants to chip it up, maybe get another goal. We haven't seen many goals from Misty or anyone on Lincoln. They want to be changing that, and only a minute gone by, only a goal deficit. Loughborough, they're looking strong, and again, Nando, if you can force this through, maybe get a second, there's still a chance to just extend that lead and really put that final nail in the coffin. It seems like there's already about 12, but, you know, adding a few more won't do any harm, at least for Loughborough.
Yeah, I'm sure they definitely feel that way, and it does look like they are just on cruise control at the moment, really. Lincoln do not seem to be troubling them on offense, and they're just able to coordinate themselves so well, as we see Stamina just take one and then take it straight over the top of Bowles, just walking the ball past Lincoln. Crookie looks for the infield pass towards Nando. The shot is good. The demo comes through as well. Loughborough working like a well-oiled machine, and I feel like we are seeing now the beginning of the end in this series for Lincoln.
I think machine's an understatement. Terminator is what I'm thinking when you look at Loughborough. They have been relentless. No one can stop them, and there's not even 2 minutes of this game gone, and it seems like we're already writing it off. It's just Lincoln. They can't force anything through. Again, Nando wants to push this one forward. That's going to be high and wide. A rare mistake from any offensive Loughborough attempt. And now Dave G gets the musty downfield. Nando, again with a touch. It's pinched out. Crookie gets to it. Not much boost. Actually, that's going to be a fake. Both players missing it. Instead, it goes over again. Player beaten, but it's Stamina. Of course, it's Stamina. Going to be there. Going to be able to push this forward. Crookie, downfield again. It's into the corner of Lincoln. They can't, at least as defense, do anything about it. Stamina again wants the opportunity to put a shot on target, but that won't be the case. But still, no one from Lincoln able to do anything that gives them a real... Never mind, I was going to say a real sense of danger, but Bowles going to shut me up and maybe, just maybe, give Lincoln a chance. They're only down by 1. They've got half the game left. It was a rare counterattack from them, but they capitalized on it expertly.
Yeah, it was a mistake from... I didn't actually see who it was, so you're not going to get blamed for this one, but it was a mistake from one of the Loughborough players, just a loose ball into the midfield. But ultimately, the angle from Bowles as well was really good to wrap his car around that and actually generate some power on the ball. I didn't think he was in a position to shoot at all. Lincoln might get a second here, but Rookie going to ensure that Misty is not able to just tip that over the top of his car. Here comes Stamina once again. He's got it over the top of 2. Can he get the drop down? The ball has dropped down. Fernando, but Misty right in the right place at the right time, able to make the block and keep Lincoln's hopes alive as they are on offense now, but Stamina just disrupting. It's a 50 with Dave. Misty has got a demo on 1. It's going to be a very awkward one to defend, and Stamina with a crucial backflip, they're going to keep it out.
That's a string of mistakes, actually, not going to be put through, only just kept away by Lincoln. It was into the crossbar, but there were a fair few opportunities there that were first stemming from a couple of mistakes, backflip mishits from Loughborough. They are still human. They can make mistakes. It's just about making sure you do something positive with them. Well, Nando not going to have that pinch put past him. Stamina on the receiving end of the pass as well. It's going to be bounced off the corner, but not immediately into danger. Misty, that's going to be, again, looking dangerous, but no, not quite. The ball slowed down. All 3 Lincoln players, they're bunched up, and Stamina easily enough forces this one through. Wants the teammate, has the teammate. Crookie does not have the goal. Maybe Nando can put it through. No, again, Crookie. Oh my goodness, Dave G nearly with the own goal, but once more, nothing through. It's been a fair while since we've seen a goal in this game, but the pressure has never been higher.
Man, I think that's probably a change of underwear for Dave G there, as he saw the ball fly past him about a millimetre away from own goaling, and that really would have been the end of Lincoln. But as things stand right now, they will be dropping to the lower bracket. Really need to find a goal in this next minute if they even want to give themselves a fighting chance here. I mean, we are still talking about a reverse sweep and a best of 7, but to keep themselves alive, they're going to need a goal in this game to take us to an overtime and then win it as well. Just seems like the cards are all stacked up against Lincoln at the moment, but it has really been Loughborough that has been working that and been working superbly.
Loughborough have been Absolutely insane. There's no real words to describe what they've done. Simply just dispatching any defense. And well, Lincoln, they want one more chance here. The clock looking to turn red very, very shortly. That's cleared out only just by Crookie now. Dave G was a monster at the start of the series. What can he do towards the end of it? Misty wants to drop down again. The clock, 3 seconds. The ball touches the ground. The series will be over. Loughborough, they want to advance. Dave G and Lincoln, they want to survive. It's up in the air. Crookie gets the bump. That might just be in. Maybe the dunk down. No, again, it falls. Will that be another goal to put it to bed? No, but it will be Loughborough. They get the sweep, and deservedly so. I would have thought Lincoln get something in that, but no. That's the series over for real this time. And Lincoln, they're sent to the lower bracket. Loughborough, they are advancing in phenomenal fashion.
Yeah, I don't think anybody expected that. I mean, we picked this game to be on stream because we were like, yeah, it'll be really close, actually, of all the first-round games that we have. 4-0 sweep Loughborough. Dominant fashion once again in playoffs. Loughborough, at least against Lincoln, looked pretty unstoppable. And I mean, I would say that the favourite right now is Roehampton. We are expecting them to stomp their way all the way to the grand finals. But if we're looking for a challenger, Loughborough in this bracket look absolutely on fire.
If you want that sort of weird bracket, the one that upsets most predictions, Loughborough and Roehampton, assuming Roehampton win their quarterfinal, I don't know if that's over yet or not, they match up in the next round, and Loughborough win. Roehampton are faced with elimination if they lose a single series from this one onwards, which, again, it's very unlikely. They are, they are the strongest team. I think everyone knows that, but there's a chance that Roehampton, falls short there and Loughborough can advance. If Roehampton have already lost, then Loughborough have a team that arguably they should be beating even more comfortably. And, well, it's going to be tough either way, but congratulations to them. Genuinely, they played phenomenally. And the way that they... Oh, wait. Okay, sorry. There's already one result on the bracket. UEA have swept Lancaster, so that's one advancing team to the next match we have up. But yeah, that was... Well, the match we just watched was ridiculous. Like you say, no one thought Lincoln would go down like that.
No, they didn't. But that result, UEA Lancaster, is pretty significant. UEA, the third seed, I believe, yes, the third seed. Yes, Lancaster, sixth seed, obviously just separated by game win percent. But UEA had the top game win percentage of the 9 pointers that made up the remaining 6 spots after Roehampton and Warwick. So UEA, dominant victory again. I wonder, because I'm thinking Roehampton sweep Manchester. Obviously, Manchester the 8th seed.
Yeah.
Are we going to have 4 sweeps here? Because, I mean, Warwick as well. Second seed, 10 points. Strong. Yeah,
and Warwick and Roehampton, obviously, they got more than 9. And like you mentioned, the only difference between 3rd and 8th seed is just game win percentage, in which it's less than 10%, which is a ridiculous stat that you've got such a close field, which means sweeps are very, very rare, such is the way that we just had. I think 4 sweeps is ridiculous, but it's also ridiculous enough to definitely happen. So who knows? I think that would be very interesting.
Well, we are going to go for a short break now, but when we come back, we will have UEA on stream versus the winner of Warwick versus Setu. That will be an upper bracket semi-final. The other one will be off stream. That will be Loughborough, who we've just seen take down Lincoln, go up against. You have to think Roehampton. If it's Manchester, Sigmoid has said that he will, quote, eat a brick.
Something will have gone wrong there. Yeah,
yes.
Both Roehampton and Sigmoid, I think.
So we will take a very short break now, but when we come back, upper bracket semi-final in a best of 7 coming your way.
this town with the speakers loud and the radio playing old Sublime that we stole online, every verse we know. And we hadn't had a clue if we'd make it by noon or even where we'd go. We don't need a map, everywhere is home. We don't need a map, everywhere. The tank said E and we all agree that we're just too broke to fill it back up, so we left your truck on the road with Rome. Then we found a motel with a cigarette smell, so we knew we're close. We don't need a map, everywhere is home. We don't need a map, everywhere is home. Is where I can find some peace of mind to make my own way. I don't know where I will end up, but I'll find it someday. Keep on searching, engine burning while we're turning it around. But don't get left behind on the road. But don't get left behind on the road. Don't get left behind on the road. Don't get left behind on the road. We play Tupac, Shellac, and we turn our music up when he raps about hope. We hold our thumbs high and hope someone is kind enough to give us all a ride. And we wouldn't have a clue if we'd make it back to or even where we'd go. But we don't need a map, everywhere is home. A Ford stopped on the street, said where you trying to be. We said we don't really care. We'll know it when we're there. We took on down the road. He flipped on his radio. Santeria started slow, so we knew that we were close. Home is where I can find some peace of mind to make my own way. I don't know where I will end up, but I'll find it someday. Keep on searching, engine burning while we're turning it around. But don't get left behind on the road. 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 Home is where I can find some peace of mind to make my own way. I don't know where I will end up, but I'll find it someday. Keep on searching, engine burning while we're turning it around. But don't get left behind on the road.
Transcend humanity with Omen.
What is that?
It's cutting edge VR, Flynn.
It looks like it's something from the future, you know?
Flynn took a trip to future London, saw something she wasn't supposed to. Now people from there are trying to kill us.
I live 17 floors up, and when it rains, I can feel those drops in my window pane. Lets me know that I'm still here. But when the sun comes out, I will go outside. When it breaks through clouds, I will give a smile. Lets me know that...
Welcome back, everybody, to the new Winter 2022-2023 split. We are back once again with the Rocket League prize playoffs, and this time we are in the upper bracket semi-finals, where we are going to be watching UEA going up against Warwick. Orksy, the last match that we watched was a bit of a washout, but Warwick, who are in this match, had a bit of a different story. And do you want to take us through maybe the rest of the bracket as well while you're at it?
Quite, yes. Warwick just came off of a Game 7 overtime 1-0 win. I believe 4 minutes 35 was the time in overtime when they finally managed to break through. They're a formidable force, but they haven't quite been able to have the success that they wanted, of course. A sweep would have been what they were looking for instead, that Game 7. Instead, though, every other sweep, Roehampton managed to sweep Manchester. Loughborough, as you just saw if you're watching the stream, absolutely demolished Lincoln in a sweep. And UEA Blue Jays, as again we have in this lobby in this series, also swept Lancaster. So 3 sweeps and a Game 7, a mix of results. And this series, you assume, we said it last time, but this series should be closer. These teams, they've progressed. They're the 4 remaining in the upper bracket, so they know that they're stronger. Of course, every single opponent you play is going to be that bit more competitive. And Warwick, well, they've got some good backing from Williams Resolve. They are Warwick Williams, and UEA Blue Jays, not quite the same backing, but still the heart and definitely the actual skill and ability they've made this far. There's no reason that they couldn't be making it through Warwick.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And I mean, UEA had a much stronger result in the first round, obviously, with a sweep. Warwick really had to fight against Setu, which we weren't necessarily expecting. Setu, the 7th seed, with a 62.5% win rate on 9 points, one of 6 teams on 9 points. But Warwick, 2nd seed, 10 points, 9 and 3. They did have around the same game win percentage, so 64.58. So you have to say that Warwick there, a slightly disappointing result, having to go all the way to Game 7. And now they do go up against the 2nd seed in UEA Blue Jays, who did have the highest game win percentage out of any team in the top 8 of 70%. Which I don't know how that's possible, because Roehampton Roehampton didn't lose a series, but they must have lost quite a few games.
I guess they've gone to multiple Game 5.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So that makes sense. So yeah, UEA have actually had the best game win percentage out of any team in the top 8, despite being 3rd on 9 points and actually losing 4 series. So in terms of actually making a prediction one way or the other, I think my money is more on UEA. Quite a few people probably touting them as finalists to rival the likes of Roehampton, you would think, but you never know what Warwick are really capable of.
Yeah, it's interesting because Warwick, like I mentioned, they've got the backing of Williams. They were so incredibly strong last series and last season. And UEA, well, this is the 2nd and 3rd seeded team from the group stage, and UEA, they were much more convincing. Warwick, looking at how they've been performing this season, it hasn't been nearly as convincing or as good as you'd want them to. I think they failed their UR qualification run yesterday after a decent lower bracket attempt, but yet to really crack through on that. And as much as they got 2nd place in this group stage, but I thought they'd be more convincing, at least when they're coming up against the 7th seed. But that Game 7, they managed to eke it out. They managed to get that win. You have to give it to them. It's not like they completely faltered at the last hurdle, still being able to close that out is enough. And I'm sure that, that gives them still an air of momentum and the confidence that you do still need going up against another really strong team. And the winner of this again progressing to, I believe, the top 3, if I remember how this bracket works. Yeah, winner of this can guarantee themselves a top 3, which is at least some money, but they want to be pushing forward, and going down to that lower bracket at this point gives you such a difficult gauntlet to run.
Yeah, it really does. I guess we can also talk about rosters as well. Warwick, last year, after 4 years, I believe, Walden departed Warwick and has now been replaced by Zouch, formerly of the Durham Defenders, who has moved over to Warwick to do his Masters. So a player already well established in University Rocket League, joining this Warwick side of Treefork and Sushi, who was new last season, but really took a step up into that roster and made it a very strong 3-man roster. But Warwick have always not really lived up to expectations. And I know that sounds really harsh because they are a fantastic team, but based on pure results alone, they haven't looked as good as some of their main competitors. As you say, just missing out on that UR qualification spot. They do also obviously have the opportunity to still qualify through the National League, but I'm sure that they would have wanted to make it through those qualifiers. I think UEA Blue Jays have made it. I feel like I'm saying that with confidence.
They have. I've got that in my head as well, yeah. Either we're both wrong or, yeah, I believe so. And, yeah, like you say, Zouch, newer player, Durham was a formidable side last season, and Zouch, being definitely a big reason for that. Treefork and Sushi, they've got experience together, and they're a very strong individual pairing as well. They can work well, of course, linking up with each other, but when it comes to solo players or just a individual understanding of Rocket League, whether it be their team, the opponents, or just how Rocket League is played as fundamentals, they know what they're on about. They are players that you never overlook, and you always view them, with that air of caution. You don't know what they're really capable of because of how high their ceiling can be. And it's not like Warwick have had a low floor. They just haven't quite been able to reach that ceiling instead. But they've got at least 4 games here that they need to be, or that have 4 games in this series. Hopefully more. We won't want another sweep here. UEA Blue Jays versus Warwick Williams. This best of 7, trying to go for that top 3 in this place, in this bracket. Going to be a tough matchup. Both of these sides know what they're up against, but we get underway here.
One more best of 7 for a spot in the upper bracket semi-final. And we don't know who it will be yet. We've got Roehampton and Loughborough on the other side of the bracket. Roehampton have looked dominant all season, but Loughborough looked absolutely stellar tonight in the previous series. But enough talk about that. We're going to be focusing on this one, and that is a way to start, you'd have to say.
Quite, yeah. It's not, a blitzer top corner. Instead, it's going to be nice bouncing top. Actually, okay, it was kind of top corner from the Clutch Mackers, and, well, UEA, they'll want to take that only a few seconds into the series, and they've taken a lead in this very first game. A great way to push ahead. Hopefully, they can build on this lead. But if you are Warwick, you want to make sure that that goal is mitigated pretty soon, and instead you start working on your lead, and that will be exactly how you do it. Zout gets the goal, Sushi with the assist, a nice link up upfield, and, well, again, only 33 seconds into this game here, and it's looking to be a great matchup between these two, very even to start off.
I was going to say it was a very costly mistake from UEA, but in the benefit of hindsight after that goal, they have managed to get themselves back there, and we are back to a stalemate as Treefork sends it towards Sushi, and a gorgeous passing play from Warwick. Where on earth has this come from? Zouch towards Treefork on the wall. Ball didn't even touch the ground, and Snipe was just a rabbit in the headlights. Looked like they practiced that 100 times. Well orchestrated play from Warwick there, and it is going to get them the lead back.
Did indeed seem like a choreographed move, and Sushi got the assist to start off with scoring, wanted to get the goal for himself to make sure it continued, and again it's pushed downfield now. Just a little, actually a great demo, there's a chance here, it's pushed off the side again. Snipe doesn't want to be caught out here, and again it's going to be pushed up, just looking for that below the crossbar shot, but kept away by Sushi, who again gets the pinch downfield, doesn't have much boost, wants to go for the steal instead, but the counter-attack could be here. The potential 3-on-2, that's going to be only just wide enough the post, and That was a great opportunity. Here it's going to be forced downfield again. Maybe the bump, there will be a bump, but no one able to follow up immediately. And there was a chance at either end. It's a shame that neither was converted.
Yeah, the thing that is striking me about this series already is the pace at which it is being played. The ball is actually being pinged across the field, but there always seems to be a player on the end of it, such as the level and the depth that we have with the University Rocket League in the UK at the moment. Currently the leader in this game, and I suppose you could say the series as well, is Warwick, as another opportunity there was tried to be created by Treefork, but sadly not quite linking up with his teammate. Ant-Man in a very awkward spot, but gets a nice pinch off the backboard, only as far as Treefork can't work the ball into a position for a teammate to score. Does get the demo, but ultimately UEA transitioning onto offense here.
Is again just a chance here. Eclet Makers wants the second, looks for the shot. That is not going to be in. Zouch doesn't want to let that just roll in instead. Confident enough, wants the 50 again, but that's forced away now. Sushi called into action here. It's going to be actually pinched down instead off to the side. Finally getting the touch, but two players went up. Treefork gets to recover, and you see Sushi again go for the demo, go for that much more aggressive play. Wants to push upfield and be a nuisance, and a nuisance we're going to see Zouch try to be as well. Now Treefork off to the side, trying not to hand this off to the opponent. Instead, he's done just that. Snipe forces to pass one. Eclet Makers, maybe there's the opportunity, but that one squandered and just off to the side. The attempt, Snipe again. There's options here. No one really able to push something through. They're convincing, but they're just being stopped on the goal line. We see 4 saves from from Warwick Williams already, and well, their defense is definitely being tested here.
Oh, look at Makers. He's got the flip reset, but Treefork reading it well, able to get there and snuff out the danger. I feel like if Makers had been given space in the air there, he definitely would have punished, but Warwick are more than wise to the mechanical ability of not just Makers, but all of the players on UEA. So really ensuring that the pressure is there and they are not being allowed to play their game. Once again, we see UEA coming forwards. Treefork tried to go up for that aerial, but bumped off it. Zouch, bit of a loose touch, but it's found its way to Sushi, who is still in possession here. He's managed to work it into the corner as well. Snipe off the ceiling. That is a bit of a loose ball, but he has managed to get back to it once again. Sushi comes in for it, and he's still just flopping about in the corner, and ultimately not going to be doing anything there. Just hanging about in the midfield. Zouch might look to go over the top of everyone, and does so. Uses all of his boost to absolute perfection, and Zouch extending Warwick's lead in game 1.
And only a 2-goal lead, but it seems enough. It seems that their pressure when translating that defense into offense and using that ball to perfection, well, it's been demonstrated once more. Zouch gets the second, and it's put through in such a phenomenal way. Finally, we're going to see yet another, I say finally, the defense is penetrated once more, and UEA, they seem to be unable to really put anything through now on their offensive side. Instead, they had a nice start to the game, but since then it's been pretty dire for them. Opportunities here and there, but nothing too convincing, and now Snipe wants to go up. Has a teammate. That will be Eclet Makers, but it's cut out, and once more, they want to force something through. They want another goal. They need something to give them the chance, and that won't be in. Oh my goodness, Sushi. I think the touch from him meant that Eclet Makers would get on the end of it, and only just is this game brought back to within a 1-goal deficit.
What a shot by Ant-Man, though. I thought he was going to go early and just look for the immediate touch off the wall, but realized he had space and really leant into that shot and put his tires through it, and it went top left, bounced back to Makers, who ultimately was able to convert. So UEA put themselves in a great place here if they want to try and find a late equalizer. Under 30 seconds left on the clock, but they are in the right place, and Warwick look a little bit boost-starved. Sushi is able to get the clear, but Snipe onto his own backboard back into the midfield. Treefork with a big booming clear, and UEA are going to have to go cross-field here if they want any kind of opportunity. Snipe, bit of a loose ball, not really going to find a teammate, although Ant-Man is there to take the shot. Makers now with another shot of his own, and it's found its way through at the near post. Makers with the precision shot threads the needle, and we could be going to an overtime here in game 1.
The needle was indeed thread. The gap was spotted and found. It seemed like, I think, Treefork was one just reversing back, trying to get any sort of footing in terms of, being able to get the save, but no, went off the crossbar and just diving around, wanted any sort of touch instead. Unfortunate to not get one, and at the 3-second mark, the goal was put in. Maybe there's an opportunity here. It's going to go off the backboard. Treefort wants to make amends. That's put in.
What is that?
0 seconds. What's happened there? Somehow, some way, it's been squeezed through a pinch off the floor, off the curve of the wall, and oh my goodness, Treefort. He's managed to recover, but Sushi puts home the dagger, and oh my goodness, what have Warwick done?
Have you ever seen anything like
Never.
that? That is the strangest pinch that I've ever seen off the post. I think it like he definitely touched the ball twice. Like the first touch was the pinch,
Yeah,
but that wouldn't have gone in by itself. He then
the angle,
the rotation of his car. Yeah, the rotation of his car.
it bounced out, hit a corner that was a bit away from the wall.
Yeah,
Normally
and then
he
he
was
just
like-
smothered it in. Oh my!
It was like if you, I don't know, if you boom the ball into like the sidewall and then get the redirect off of that, it was like that, but at really short notice.
Yeah. Wow.
Look, we're gonna hear him say that was intentional, and I'm gonna be hard pressed to believe that. But it was phenomenal. I'll give him that much. That was amazing. The 3-second goal to keep Warwick's hopes just down enough. UEA, they thought they had a chance. Treefort brings it downfield at the last second, but Sushi gets whatever that was. And I mean whatever that was, because I really don't know what's gone down there.
Well, whatever that was, it is a difference maker, and ultimately Warwick victorious in game 1 after it looked like we were going to an overtime. 2 goals in the final 3 seconds, deciding that game, as we now head on to the beautiful Sovereign Heights, the game 2. And, I mean, I don't think we could have really asked for a better opener to the series, could we? It went right down to the wire, and I'm expecting more of that, to be honest. Both teams look like they are operating at their maximum potential. It doesn't really look like there's anything more to give. So I just think we're going to see them trading hammer blows here, back and forth, all series long. Giving me Game 7 vibes. I'm getting Game 7 vibes, but we'll have to see about that. Still a hell of a long way to go in the series. As I say, best of 7. Warwick have only got 1 on the board so far, so we have got quite the endurance race still to come.
Well, there were 7 goals in the first game, one of them at the 0 second. There's going to be at least one in this, of course, as Eclat Mackers again opens up the scoring in 2 consecutive games. And again, exactly what UEA want. They want to recover from something that they could not have prepared for in the previous. And I'll keep harking on about it because it was something remarkable. And, well, they need to be making sure that they claw their way back into this. And they can do it in a composed manner, that works. But if they have to fight dirty, going for bumps, for demos, for just beauties downfield instead, some nice cherry picks, whatever works for them, I'm sure they'll take it. Treefort wants to once more just shut down any chance, any hope they have of staying in this. And now Sushi again, back downfield. What can he do? Not much. Gets the bump, and now Zouch again off the sideboard, cleared away easily enough. Snipe again downfield, but that's actually intercepted. Treefort below the bar. That's kept out Sushi off the backboard. There's a chance. There is going to be a chance, but it's not going to be put through. Treefort again. That's not put in. Sushi's going to miss. There's chances here, but no one can put one through. And as Warwick try and push down again, Snipe with the clearance, I'm not sure what's happened. That flurry of offense has resulted in approximately 0 goals.
Yeah, Warwick have got within a hair's width more times than I can count on one hand in the space of about 30 seconds there. But still, UEA maintain their lead. You have to say, what more can Warwick do? UEA just look strong and holding firm on defense. The rotations look good as well. Communication looks fine. Macca's bit of a loose ball though, taking it across field, and doesn't have any boost left either, so not a position he'd want to be finding himself in, but he has made it work as finally the ball back into the midfield, and even transitioning onto offense here. Ant-Man with the shot, and it's a miss there. Macca's can't quite find the angle. Treefort by himself. Can he go all the way round? Yes, he can. Snipe there. I think might have got demoed and was just trying to recover. Treefort recognized that and immediately just tucks the ball around him. It was Snipe looking for boost there, and a little bit too overzealous to get back to the goal line and flips past that far post. Treefort, perfect placement to put Warwick back on level terms.
I thought that shooting it exactly where he went would have gone immediately into the defender or worst into the post, but no, found that spot and once more exploited the momentum of the defender. Ant-Man off to the sideball, wants to try and keep this out of trouble. That's not going to be the case least for now, Treefork and now Sushi combining on either wing. Zouch wants to finish it off. That will be all players getting involved, or it's kept out on the goal line. And once more, we're going to see a tied game continue here. No one able to break the deadlock on Warwick Williams resolve. They keep trying. They've got so many ideas, and it's only these again, Treefork. These saves, these goals in this series, I'm not sure how or who is reading them, but I swear they are pixels off being saved or being put through. This is ridiculous.
That save from Treefork was insanity, and oh my word!
This is the goal that goes in. There's so much phenomenal offense, and the only way that we are seeing Warwick score
is that?
Ridiculous attempts, whether it's just, oh my goodness, I'm not sure what they've done, but they've found the key to winning, and it's some of the most cheesy goals we're seeing.
I have no idea how that was so powerful. I literally watched that in slow-mo, and I thought Sushi touched it last because Treefork was behind him, but not a clue how that one's worked. But I'm sure that Warwick will take it as Sushi now. Is he going to look for the demo? No, instead looking for the redirect, but Snipe wise to it, able to get there before the offending player. Snipe now getting bumped out. Sushi goes for some sort of flip reset thing, but it's not really going to work, so I guess we'll ignore it. And Sushi back on it now, bumping Treefork out of the way. Sushi's having a bit of a nightmare, but just needs a hard reset, and I'm sure he'll be back to his speedy mechanical ways in absolutely no time.
It's been such a weird game, and Treefork wants to get the hat-trick there, wants to try and confirm the game. There's less than a minute left, so one goal could either give UEA that fighting chance that they do desperately need to make sure that they don't go down 0-2, or hopefully secure this game if you're a Warwick fan. And, well, Ant-Man pushes this into the corner, but now Sushi right back out the way it came in. It's going to be downfield. It's going to be a race. It's not going to be over. Snipe easily enough. Is the ball red? Now Eclecmac is into the corner again. Zouch misses. Ant-Man's not going to get the touch here. That's immediately at the defender. Treefork had the read, but Ant-Man didn't quite have the precision to put that into a corner.
Yeah, Treefork, another great save on the back line there, reading the shot beautifully. But the pressure is continuing from UEA, and you have to say it is mounting as well. They are fully aware that they are a goal down. That was an infield pass, but it hasn't really worked. Snipe forced into an awkward position. Demo from Sushi could open things up, but what it is going to do is bleed time off the clock. Zouch knows it as well. He's trying to carry it over everyone. It's not a favourable pinch. Treefork needs to drop it, finds the corner, and Warwick, 2 games on the bounce here. UEA have looked so good, but Warwick are just edging them at the moment, and it's such fine margins. Everything about this series is such fine margins. So for Warwick to be 2 games up, they are going to feel really good about that, because honestly, UEA could have won those first 2 games quite easily.
Oh, definitely. The 0-second goal, again, that is ridiculous. That should have gone to overtime. And that one, again, being a 1-goal game. Both goals coming from in Warwick's own half, the ones that they scored. And UEA, they had that opening goal from Kletmakers, and nothing really else to follow it up. There was pressure, and it looked like, again, they were potentially at least the better team, making sure they could hold that defense and then working it into offense, but that didn't pan out for them, and instead they are down 0-2. So this game really matters a lot. If they lose this, it's going to be another case of needing a reverse sweep, and if they can win it, they're going to be more than in this series. They're a strong team, and they've proven what they can do time and time again. It's just about putting a couple of goals together and making sure they can string some results together too. Snipe wants to start this off in phenomenal fashion.
Yeah, and look at this absolute steamroller offense from UEA. Snipe with a ground pinch off the ceiling. Macca's reading it perfectly, and then Snipe following up. There was absolutely no stopping that offense, and only 12 seconds in, UEA are on the board here. And I think that is in contrast to what we've seen in previous games where Warwick have got the opening goal. So let's see if they are able to come from behind here and try and get themselves back in it.
There's most definitely chances. We've seen both teams have some great shots. Well, that seems to be the favourite of Warwick, the boom it downfield, and hope there's no defender there. Instead, they're going to try and work as a unit this time. Bit of infield passing. They've got options, and one of the options is going to be Snipe instead from the other team. Kletmakers as well off to the side. And now Ant-Man picks this up. Treefork, last player back. That's not true, actually. Zouch there to collect as well. Gets the reset for the wave dash. It's put up by Eclat Macca's. Treefork wants to follow up as well. Sushi, maybe the double touch, no, bounced off the backboard, but hit out the way as well. The good attempt at the bump on the backline from Snipe, and it looks to be a pretty dirty game. We're seeing a lot of bumps coming out on both offense and defense from both rosters. They know what they need to do to win, and they're making sure they do everything to make that dream a reality here.
Or Treefork was only about a millimeter off that cherry pick shot there. You have to feel that he would have been sending it on target as he sends one over. Sushi sends one over towards Treefork, but Treefork recognizing that was a little bit too close to the defense of his liking and backing off. But Warwick still on offense. Treefork reading it off the backboard. Zouch can take the shot, but couldn't quite wrap his car around it and really ask a question of the defense. Sushi not going to make contact there either, but Ant-Man does not have any boost. Warwick seemingly playing the boost starving game very well, but Snipe says we can do that too as he takes the corner away from Warwick. Mac is now in the corner. Gets blocked down by Sushi. You might be able to go all the way here, but it's just pinched a bit too far across net. Treefork keeps it alive, but Ant-Man cuts out the danger. Warwick, once they get on offense, they do seem to be very good at staying there and starting to suffocate UEA, but UEA's defense equally looks pretty impenetrable at the moment.
Warwick are swarming all over this UEA defense. They can stay strong, they can make sure they don't concede, and they finally found a way out of their own half without actually going down or having this series tied. But there was at a very prolonged period of time where Warwick, they were stealing their opponent's boost, they were making sure the pressure was on, and this pinched up as well. There's still a chance if, never mind, Ant-Man keeps it out, and again, this will be over. Actually, Treefork called into action as that last player once more is most definitely that go-to player for Warwick to make goals happen, to make goals, at least the opponent's attempt, stop. And now Sushi wants the shot. Treefork looking for the touch out. That will be Zouch with the shot. That's going to be bottom corner, far post. No one's reading that. There's space open there purely from this touch from Treefork. Reads, doesn't want to try and collect it, instead bounces that out, and the player, Eclat Macca's, rotating a bit too far forward, caught out, there's space, and there's a goal.
Yeah, that was great patience there from Zouch. We saw him in the midfield just hovering around, waiting for that opportunity. And as you say, both players for UEA just edging a little bit too far forwards there, a bit over keen to get out of their own half. And ultimately, that was what cost them, as Zouch able to put the shot over to the other side. And Treefork not able to get back to it off the ceiling. But Warwick starting to warm up into this game. They did concede very early, but now they look to be the team in control as a monster pinch comes out. Mac has actually managed to get the read, but don't really think it's going to generate any real offensive pressure. Although an absolute banger from Sushi. Look at the infield pass. It was so quick that even the in-game camera couldn't keep up with it.
That is exactly how you do it, and we're going to see yet again a couple goals strung together for Warwick. Every single game has been opened by UEA, but they cannot get that 2-goal lead, and instead it's always flipped right back on them, the tie game. And now again, Warwick, they've got this lead, they need to stick with it. They've only got a minute and a half that they need to keep it, and Ant-Man wants to force this down. We're going to see again, and Eclat Mac is looking for a teammate, can't replicate the same sort of pass and speed that we just saw Warwick pull off. And well, Treefork's got a save medal as well as 2 assists, so very vital. And every part of the pitch, Sushi might have this, just needs to pop it over under the bar. Ant-Man doesn't have the boost, Sushi has the goal. Warwick have a 2-goal lead as well. This isn't the game by any means, but it's most of the way there, you have to believe.
Yeah, Sushi recognizing the space and knowing that Ant-Man wouldn't have any boost either. He did manage to get a touch on it, but wasn't enough to keep it out. I feel like even if he'd managed to squeeze it off the bar, Sushi was still lurking about and would have sent it home. But UEA now in a very difficult position. They got that early goal. They had the lead in this game. And once again, Warwick have turned the tide and they are seemingly able to get the win here in Game 3. And UEA staring down the barrel of a potential reverse sweep. They have got an important goal back here, though, putting themselves back within 1 with 48 seconds left on the clock. We've seen them score with 3 seconds left on the clock, so nothing is impossible at the moment. But Warwick, up until that point, definitely looked to be the team in control. Now it could be anyone's game again.
Yes, the 3-goal swing we saw from Warwick, that was vital to give them momentum. And given that they've always had to battle from going down immediately in a game, I think that says a lot about their mentality and the fact that UEA have always had to instead be on the receiving end of that. Might do something to there. Sushi wants the bump. It doesn't matter. That's going to be a miss. Still snipe. Treeforks going up with it. Has taken away only just. And now again, Zouch into the corner. Wants to follow up. Wants a teammate. There's options, but none of them will be found as Snipe can clear this downfield. And hopefully the defense here can just reset. Is that another miss? It is. We're going to see Sushi wants to pass. Instead, Treefork, the receiver, will not be able to put this through those 10 seconds. And surely this game, if that's put in, oh, and it is, and that's going to be Zouch. Just the insult to injury, the brace for him, 2 apiece for Zouch and Sushi. And this has been just a masterclass of offense from Warwick. They've proven that if you can keep the pressure up, you can work as a unit going for these going for these infield passes, combining in absolutely any way, then, well, you can do some masterpieces. That is a great showing from this game.
Well, we do have a result in the other upper semi-final, and that is that Roehampton Esports Gold have beaten Loughborough Lions 4-1, and doing so have secured a spot at the LAN finals. And I can only assume, based on a method of deduction, that whoever wins in this series will also be securing a spot at the LAN finals, which means that the upper final will be played on LAN, which I assume means the lower final should be played on LAN as well.
Otherwise, yes. So top 3 at least. We should preface. We don't actually know. Like, we're not entirely sure. There's probably, we've been told some by someone sometime somewhere, but at least the top 3 teams are making it. Maybe top 4, that might make sense, but there will be at least 3 LAN games played. Yeah, and winner of this, if Warwick can take this game, because they're now up 3-0 in this series, we should talk about. They will be facing Roehampton Esports Gold in that upper final on LAN at the Nottingham Trent Confetti Arena.
1 game away are Warwick, and 4 games away are UEA. Reverse sweep and a best of 7. Well, we talked about it in the previous series, but Lincoln never really seemed like they were able to rise to the challenge. UEA, however, have looked, well, they haven't looked second best all series, is what I want to say. You know, they've looked like they could have